Namaste, my fellow earthlings. It is I, Osepi, here in the forest once again, and this is episode 1 of season 1 of Imagination Station. I don't know if anyone's made such a video with that name. I don't care. I had an idea, and we're gonna try it out today. Um, the idea is just using our imagination, and just like creating a story or something, Pretty simple. Pretty simple, but like, I think we're so busy consuming like art and like the creative work of others, and we forget to use our own little imagination. And I think I know imagination is such a powerful tool, and 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 yeah, we can like use that for good. We can imagine if we were more in tune. Oh, okay, whatever. If we can use our imagination to imagine a better world and work towards that. But if we're lost in the ideas of other people, yeah, it's like, I don't know, like we're lost in this imagination of the Matrix right now. So we gotta go imaginate a world that is better. And I'm just gonna show. I have not used my imagination muscle for some time, but I'm gonna do it to prove that you can do it too. So this is a call. Also, this is hopefully entertaining, but it's also a call for you to go to imagine. Try this out for yourself after you watch this. Make your own content. Stop watching other people's. Okay, so I came up with the idea to start with. Oh, hi, I'm supposed to look into the camera, right? um yeah, I don't like eye contact. um Hold on. Before we begin, a word from our sponsor, Toby, my dear boy. Toby, what do you have to say? Okay, stuff. So the format is simple, and perhaps eventually I will make it more simpler. But I randomly generated 3 nouns, and I'm gonna incorporate them and let them be the seed for my imagination station to grow a nice little story. So, so the nouns are history, thunder, and house. So uh, let's see what we can do. So there was. Let me tell you the history of a civilization, a civilization that lived long ago in a make-believe land called Grassland. So, at least that's what the civilization called it. Um, why did they call that? Because they called it that because I'm surrounded by grass right now, so that's why. um, so hi. Okay. So yeah, so there was a civilization. So this here is the tripod's limits. I guess. I'm not editing any of this out for you. I'm sorry. I'm too. Fuck. Okay. So, hold on. Okay. No! It's dropping! Frig! Okay. Okay. If it falls, I just don't care. I just don't. Um. So. Oh gosh. Okay. So. The history of the history of the grasslands people. Not related to oh yeah, okay, so yeah, the grasslands people lived on the planet um called Thunderstruck, and that's what that's what the people called it. Their planet was called Thunderstruck, and the reason that is because every Saturday there would be a great thunderstorm, and so their days there worked much the same as ours. They had 8 days of the week, and um, but I don't. The name of the eighth week is unclear, but from our research, we figured out that the grasslands people lived in glass houses. Yeah. So they lived in glass houses, and it's very unique the way they made these houses. So what happened is they didn't give a fuck about their hair until they looked into the camera and was like, "Oh, I've done nothing with this shit all day." Um, oh no. So they were, like not very. They weren't as advanced technologically as we would say, but in their own right, they were very wise in the way that they did things. So you can imagine just rolling hills of long grass. Their grass, like what, like it didn't grow past a certain like shin height, at least for maybe a 6'1" person like myself. But um, so so yeah, so that just they lived in these rolling hills of shin high grass, and their territory was a good size, but every so often there would be these little microbiomes of desert land, and fuck if I know why that was, but I think it might have been because our research of the history and geology and shit about the planet is that, like, it has something to do with the magnetic field of the planet, and also the constant thunderstorms. Oh, bro, you wait until you hear about these houses. They're really interesting, actually. So, so, what they would do is they would take the this sand of a particular composition. I don't know, but the composition makes the rest actually plausible. But I'm not like gonna get into it. This is the history, not the science behind their culture. Um, so so and I don't even know if this is how a historical recount would go, but I'm literally pulling out all of this shit out of my ass. So, what they would do, and it would be done very ceremoniously, they would get all this, like, song and dance going, get the vibes flowing, maybe even, like, they would smoke this one grass. All of the grass, bro. The grassland, they loved smoking that grass, dude. They did. I don't know. They did. Okay. So they would take the grass. There would be the a lot of the grass was very straight, just like just straight blades going right up, and they had some, they would go in the wind, but there would also be it was kind of like this, where there was these kind of like kind of curved type ones, and this is that good the good grass that they would smoke before they would start the dwelling ceremony, where they would make new dwellings, or as they call them, or as we call them, houses. So what would happen is they would haul a bunch of the sand to the grassland area, and they would form these balls of sand. They would basically make sand castles, basically, is what they would make. Big ones, and they would use like their piss and water to to actually make it so they could sculpt the sand into dwellings. And I know it sounds like living in a sand house is not very good, and that is true. But they would make these houses like bubbly. That it was very bubbly, like a lot of spherical things. I don't know why a wine glass comes to mind. I know why it comes to mind, but I'm getting there. So what happened is they would start this, maybe, I mean, they didn't do this all the time, but if they needed a new house, they would make one. And they loved making houses, because what would happen is when thunder oh, so actually the placement of their houses was very strategic. So what would happen is, when the thunderstorm came, it was very much more thundering. It was booming, like it was but lightning was not as rare. But they saw lightning as a sacred life giver and energy force, and so what would happen. Okay, I want to like convey this well, but I'm just gonna just give you the whole the whole uh thing. I'm not gonna deliver this just like in a good storytelling way, but what happens is they lived in glass houses, and when the thunder came, they were shaped in such a way that they made resonance with the thunder. So when the thunder boomed, their houses would ring, and it was said that the resonant sound that was made from the houses would actually heal the people. So it was very important to them. And it was a very melodic. And the thing is, for some reason, I don't know the science behind it, but historically, what they did is they had the different houses of different shapes and different sounds of different resonance in such a way that they could calculate that resonance would increase the channel lightning to different places, because like it would like all the houses that were ringing, these glass things, these glass houses, what they would do is make a harmony, and from it there would be kind of a hot spot of residence, and they could figure that would be the next place, like when the thunder rung and made resonance with the glass houses and made a hot spot of resonance. In that resonance, resonance hot spot right there would be where they kind of figured that like lightning would most likely strike there. So that is where they would build these sand houses. And what happened, if you didn't guess it already, the lightning would come down, strike the house, heat up the sand, and turn it into glass. And that's how they made their glass houses. It's really interesting. And that's about it. Oh, but I can say the grass that they smoked is like, okay, I'll get into the actual ceremony of how that happened. And man, I'll just tell you, I've been to the Thunder World, or whatever I called it, bro. That sound is just so beautiful when it thunders. Like, honestly, if they did not have those houses, that thunder, it's a lot, bro. Like, when Saturday rolls around, there is thunder, bro, and not a lot of lightning, and it's just weird. I like, why is it even thundering? I don't know, but like, yeah, it's really beautiful. You should go to Thunderland sometimes. You can take the Imagination Station over there. It's pretty cheap. And when you're there, I mean, it sounds really nice. So, sorry. I took some grass from the grassland back with me. Um, but that shit would make you, like, at least when you're on Thunderland, it would make you be able to work longer, and so that's and also make you happier, and cheerful, and more creative. And so they would like, when they decided, okay, we're making a new house, we want to add to our symphony of glass houses. They would gather around. Um, they would have the designated. They would all just go out there and do the grass, and they would pick. They would find that actually, to find like these kind of grasses was not. It was like, for every like 300, yeah, about every 300 blade of grass there was one of these, and they wanted these, so they would go out and go picking for these, and then they would, and this would take that doesn't make sense. They would, I don't know, they would do that, and then like, for like a whole ass day. They didn't have a lot to do. They didn't have bills. They didn't have money, bro. They were just chilling there on Thunder World. But they would take um the stuff. They would go pick it, and then they would go to bed, because it would take them all day. And then when they woke up before the sunrise, and as the sun was rising, they would go gather around a circle and smoke the grass, and the kids would chew on it, and and trust me, nothing. Never mind. So they would do that, and then they would like go around. They would sing some songs in the circle, and they would play their their instruments, which happened to be made of glass. And when they weren't making like uh, when they weren't making like glass houses, they would um like because like sometimes they weren't sure where the strongest point for the resonance was, and as the houses were there and went through more thunderstorms, there became more harmony as the glass attuned to the rest of the glass symphony of houses. So sometimes they weren't sure, so they would make glass instruments out of sand from the sand spots, and they would put them in different areas for when there was thunder. And sometimes it wasn't it wasn't as they weren't as confident about, they weren't as sure if there would be lightning to be hit there, but if it did, there you go, the lightning would hit the sand instruments and turn them into glass instruments. So yeah, I'm gonna end this soon because I gonna run out of storage. But so yeah, they would take the glass instruments and play a little song, and then they would go on their merry way um over to the sand. Bro, honestly, they would have like glass wheelbarrows and stuff. I don't know. I'm not making this stuff up. Obviously, this is just the history. This is just how they did it, man. I don't know. Um, so that's, they didn't have many trees. I mean, and the trees they did have, they love those trees. But that's a whole nother thing. Um, sometimes they would get struck by lightning. Um, so so a lot of their material goods were made of glass. So yeah, they would go over there, get the stuff. I mean, I don't, I'm just saying stuff now. That's the gist of the story. Thank you for coming on the imagination station with me, all the way to Thunder World, where the grassland people lived in the grasslands and houses out of made harmonic houses out of sand. Really awesome stuff, I would say. So yeah, that's it. Um, yeah, thank you for watching and listening to this. Um, and and go ahead and comment 3 nouns for another episode of the Imagination Station. Um, and if yeah, like you could subscribe to like actually like get to see like make sure YouTube recommends the next one. I don't know. I'm just being stupid now. I don't need to do all that. But I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a happy, thunderous Saturday or whatever day it is. Alright. So this has been me, Alsepi, and my dog. Somewhere's gotta go find him. Toby in the woods. Thanks for watching. Peace.